Aqua's been in place here and providing water and sewer services for a little over a year. And despite their having a year to get it right, they continue to apply, in my opinion, questionable business billing practices. For example, going 1 or 2 months with estimated bills. And then, as an example, I was out of town for the entire month of December. And when I got their supposed reading of my water use for December, I was charged for the use of almost 6,000 gallons in the month that I was out of town for the entire month. In addition, judging from my personal experience, as well as the many reports I've received from members of the association and neighbors and all, Aqua's customer service has been and continues to be both inadequate and ineffective. I realize that individual complaints from the individual homeowners may eventually get the desired results, but I believe it's incumbent on the board to interject itself into the process on behalf of the community as a whole and to seek immediate corrective action from Aqua. Hence my resolution that you see in the board book. I would be willing to modify the motion in the board book, since Aqua has finally agreed to a face-to-face meeting with Wayne and others of us up here this week. I would be willing to modify my motion with the preface, in the absence of a favorable outcome from the meeting on Aqua on January 31st, and then read on the rest of the motion. Essentially what I'm doing is asking the board to authorize and direct the president to send a letter, a view of concern letter to Aqua's corporate management. And if that brings the desired results, great. If it doesn't, within 2 weeks, I'm requesting that the board authorize and direct the president to, on behalf of the association, to send a letter to the SCC outlining our concerns and requesting the SCC to intervene on our behalf.
And all subject to the outcome of the meeting this
all
Thursday.
Subject to the outcome of the meeting. If we have a favorable outcome this Thursday, then this gets held in advance. If the outcome of the meeting on Thursday is unacceptable, I don't want to wait till the February meeting before I table this motion again. I want to move on Friday. If Thursday's meeting does not yield acceptable results, I want to move on Friday with the letter to Aqua Management, and then if that doesn't work, 2 weeks later to move to the state.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm finished. That's.
I think we should bear in mind, I understand how you feel, but I think we should bear in mind that Aqua Virginia just took us, is that correct? It existed in the Tidewater area, but they just took us about halfway through the year into their little organization.
No, they've owned us for 13 months.
13 months.
And they have been operating us for a year more than that.
But their customer service just took us in Aqua Virginia.
13 months ago.
We were calling, when they first started, we were calling somewhere in Pennsylvania. Now we call Tidewater.
They changed their location.
Right.
Customer service.
It's now with completely new. But the point I'm trying to make is, it could be a very young organization that is just learning how to do its job. And that shouldn't be at our expense at all. But do we know, are there any people here at Ecology that are happy with the service? No. Has anybody, I don't know anybody, but have we done that piece of the exercise before we?
Well, I have heard some anecdotal evidence that it's getting better. And if you work hard enough at it, you can. For example, you actually can get problems resolved now. So I think there's maybe movement. I wouldn't say movement to where it should be.
Let me relate along those lines my most recent experience with Aqua. I called when I got my 6,000 gallon bill and talked to a person somewhere who had trouble with the English language. And I was just incapable of explaining to them the problem with estimating month after month and then hitting you with it. They just couldn't comprehend that problem. So I called again and talked to another person in Aqua, customer service somewhere. And she picked up on the problem. She says, well, you should never have at Lake Holiday an estimated reading. We are paying those readers to go out and read you every month. You should never have one, absolutely never have two in a row. And I explained to her that seems to be happening quite frequently. She says, I understand your problem, I understand how we're billing incorrectly. I will send that problem to the billing department, but I don't think they'll do anything about it.
But do you feel better now?
That's exactly what she told me. I'm not making that up. And they haven't.
Steve?
This is a very large company. It's the largest publicly traded company in the United States that does this sort of thing. This smells like intentional corporate incompetency to me. And I totally agree with John. I think we should go after them immediately and hard, because they're not listening to us individually.
Well, I hope you saw from my email trail that I'm playing hardball.
I saw that, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. I've tried, I didn't get a response. Others have tried. We have to go after them as an association with the SCC. They need to understand we're going to do it. And give them 2 weeks to get this straight.
You will make it clear in your letter that if you don't hear from them within 2 weeks, you're going to the SCC.
What are they possibly going to be able to tell us that they're going to do in 2 weeks that's going to, I've had the same problem that Ken had, that he's had. Joe and I both work for Washington Gas. I have utility experience. You can't deal with these people on the phone. They're horrible. What are they going to tell us that they're going to do to rectify any of this, that we're going to believe them?
They could tell us that they, by the way, we read your meter this month. Because
Yeah.
they will have read them next week.
Or we're
This week.
innocent till proven guilty. Just charge everybody the minimum if they don't have time to
Right.
read the meters. There's a lot of solutions that could happen just like that, if they want to. Intentional corporate
I just don't
incompetence.
think they can swing an answer in 2 weeks. I think that's a little tough of a schedule.
Yeah, I
When you
guess
go to the
yes,
SCC, you need to be serious, because they're gonna get in big trouble when you do that,
Good.
and they're gonna not like us.
I think 13 months is adequate time to get their act together. I really do.
I think they're using it.
I think we need to hear the meeting. I mean, we gotta find out what they say at the meeting.
I know, of course.
That's fine. That's exactly the way I've modified my motion to read that way.
Ray, do we have the association have accounts with Aqua for the clubhouse or the?
Yes, we've had similar issues. We've had returned invoices, returned payments. We've
Okay,
had
so that,
some very interesting dealings with them.
so there's, really it's perhaps a two-pronged problem. One is the association representing the membership, the other is the association representing its own issues.
I think they're similar enough that I think that it's all one and the same, so it should be treated.
I intend to approach Aqua as I'm representing all of the members and all of their customers. Association being one of them. I know it's no excuse, and it doesn't really mean anything, but I will tell you what the problem is. The new meters aren't working. They just don't work. They do a meter reading every month. They drive down the street with their little handheld radio frequency thing, and when they get next to each meter, they're supposed to get a signal. It isn't working.
But Ray, after you know that, which they've known for many months now, the other answer is you have a reader, get out of the truck
Yeah,
and make a reading.
right. That's what they've been unwilling to do. So,
It'll be this week, be looking, because it's always this last week that they should be reading.
okay, meeting on Thursday, 10 o'clock here. I'm not inviting all of you. I just want you to know that that's when it's going to be.
Are you disinviting us?
No, actually, I'm not. Any board member who wants to come, 10 o'clock Thursday, right here, you're more than welcome.
Who's all gonna be there? The GM and president?
Well, I know you are,
I will be
I
there.
know Dave is, and I am, and the GM is.
Ken, are you gonna be
Ken,
there?
you are.
I hope to be.
Ken's gonna be there? Cool.
With all your correspondence?
Yeah, with his file of correspondence.
Oh, vote please.
Okay, there is a motion on the table, as written here, but modified by John's, to read subject to the outcome of the meeting on this Thursday. Is that the 30th?
31st.
31st.
Just
Any further discussion on that motion? All in favor of the motion? It's